Real life street stars. Know what time it is.
So I have to ask you then, I seen a live video to where you were laying in Solar's lap and you were looking up at him, and the way you were looking at him, I'm just curious, did you ever look at Eligio that way? Did you ever look at Nature Boy that way?
That's a very good question. I always get the question, was I ever in love with Nature Boy? Or am I in love with Nature Boy? I always get that question. For me, I feel that I fell in love with an idea. So when I looked at Solar the way that I did in that video, I did look at Nature Boy in certain instances. And I feel like it was only because of the idea that I fell in love with. I don't think that love that I had was real, because when you're in love with an idea of something, that's not love. That's not real. You know, whether I knew it or not, that's not real.
I was searching.
You know, so I feel like what I have with Solar is real. I feel like what we go through is real.
You just mentioned that you have, you're now pregnant. You just said that, you know, and again, if no one caught whether they seen this interview or Solar's interview prior to this, you are now expecting a third child.
Mm-hmm.
And Solar, and you are now how many weeks pregnant?
7.
First and foremost, congratulations on just the journey that it takes to get to this point. Congratulations on the feeling and the euphoria of doing it the right way. You can't.
Yeah, I'm crying.
You can't pay for that.
I'm like crying.
Yeah, you can't.
Like,
Pay
I don't
for
even
that.
know.
You can't pay for that kind of joy. So definitely congratulations. Again, as we did interview Solar earlier, and we talked about the carbonation thing, we're just scratching the surface of what really went on throughout the whole thing, and to even have your story, there's many other stories to be told throughout that situation, but to even have you come here and be brave enough to be able to speak on the story, and again, speak so eloquently. You know, Velvet was a name that people will hear about, and then we will see you, but we don't understand the inner working. It's like an onion. You got to peel those layers back. And to be able to get these kind of layers, man, I'm just, dumbfounded about just everything that you had to do to go through it. I was telling Solar, I'm like, man, your life should be a movie, but again, even your situation as far as raising your family at 11 years old, getting to leave the country, getting your passport, and just leaving school, that's a story in itself, and then what you experience afterwards. I can only commend you for even doing what you've done. I want to end with this, man. I'm just curious, man. Do you believe, or more so, what are your beliefs? Do you have faith? Do you believe in faith? Do you believe in fate? Do you believe in Illuminati? Do you believe, where do you land in the prospect of how things are supposed to go?
I believe in faith. That has been the trajectory of my life. That has been something that has always showed its face in my life, in any instant, even when I turned away from it. The way that I grew up was in a church, but it wasn't really the church that mattered to me. It was more so the connection and the relationship that I had with God. We have all of these different religions, and we call God all of these different names, but there is one source, whether we like to know that or not, or believe that or not. And so I have a relationship. I personally feel like I have a relationship with that source. And because I have had a relationship with that source, and I have been faithful in the knowing that the source will provide whatever it is that I need moving forward on my journey, whether I make the right decision, wrong decision, whatever decision, as long as I'm leaning into what my heart is saying, and I'm having faith in what my heart is saying, that I will never be led astray. And I haven't. Even in instances where it seemed like, or it looked like I have always been led to greater things, better things, prosperous things. And I have literally saw God show up in my life. I have seen the Holy Trinity pop up in my life, and there is no denying that, period.
No, that's real.
And that's what
Now,
I believe in.
I have to ask you.
Oh, and I believe in prayer. That's like super important.
No, hey, we all. I mean, well, we all.